All right, the gate was 7.26 million. The attendance was 18,186. Highest grossing live event in arena history. Highest grossing MMA event in California history. Fight of the night was Lemos and Dern. Performance of the night was Zhang, Topuria, and Hernandez. They all won $50,000. Congrats to them.
Dana, you just laid out the numbers there. Obviously, you've made a commitment to the Honda Center moving forward. An amazing week, an amazing fight night. I guess just first off, your thoughts overall on this fight week and tonight.
Yeah, it's good to be back. This arena's been very good to us for a long time, and we like the guys who run this place, and we look forward to doing it. They have big plans for around here, too. They're building an experience here, so happy to be back with these guys.
Capped off by an incredible main event. Ilia Topuria, man, he seemed to be the enemy all week long, but now it seems like a star. I mean, we're hearing these chants outside this venue right now. I mean, what are your thoughts on him as a champion?
Yeah, no, listen, a lot of questions going into this thing. You know, never been in a main event like this, never felt the heat, the pressure. He couldn't have looked any better. Against a Volk who looked really good, too. That fight was heating up. They were exchanging. Topuria looked solid, man. Very solid.
Yeah. Ilia immediately said, hey, he wants to go to Spain to do this. You had mentioned Spain before it was on the radar. Does that become an immediate priority?
I want to go to Spain, too. We're going to Spain. Yeah.
You think his first title defense will be there, or is that too soon to make happen?
No. Yeah. If there's a venue available for us, we'll be there.
I love it. Alexander Volkanovski, a great champion, right? He mentioned maybe a rematch. What do you think? I mean, he's given rematches. This was a pretty decisive result, but, you know, he's been a great champion, given rematches along the way. What do you think? Is he deserving of a rematch, or is that not?
I don't know yet. Just happened. I'm not even thinking about that right now.
Yeah. A couple other ones real quick. Robert Whittaker, an amazing performance from him tonight as well.
Both guys. I thought they both looked good. Costa, so durable, man. So big, so durable. That front leg, it was almost disfigured. It was so nasty. He stayed in there, kept swinging, kept getting kicked in the leg, kept moving forward, stayed in the fight. Both guys look solid.
Yeah. When you have your matchmaker meetings, will Robert be in your title discussions? I mean, is he right there? I mean, obviously he's had some losses to the champs and that sort of thing, but a former champion. I mean, do you feel like he's at least in the discussion for a number one contender type fight?
Of course he is. I mean, the former champion himself looked good tonight against a big, strong, durable guy who you could tell was motivated and wanted to win. We've had some weird history with Costa, but when you look at the Rockhold fight and then you look at the fight tonight, Costa comes to fight, man. When you can get him in here, he comes to fight.
Last one, I know you don't make fights, but Merab Dvalishvili, Joe Rogan said it, but I mean, he's got to be next, right? I mean, O'Malley and Cheeto, he's got to be that for the winner.
Yeah.
And then last,
he looked good tonight, man. He came in and did what he had to. Listen, when you're, in my opinion, you can't take 3 years off in a combat sport. It's never done well for anybody. And Cejudo, looked great in the first round. Thought he started to gas out in the second round. Merab just got stronger as the fight went on.
Yep. Last thing, I'll just ask you about the UFC 300 main event. You talked about all the drama that it took building up to it and all the options you looked at. Why did you settle on what you settled, and what are your thoughts on the fight?
I wouldn't say that I settled.
Decided on. It's apologies.
Yeah. Listen, we were out there talking to lots of people, trying to make lots of fights, and in this business, it's about taking opportunities. Headlining UFC 300 with all the buzz and all the energy around it. Let me say this: Leon Edwards has had like 3 opponents throughout this thing. Leon Edwards doesn't say no to anybody. This kid is an absolute stud. He's had like 3 opponents thrown at him during UFC 300. Yes. Was willing to take on anybody, man. Kid's an absolute stud. Leon, thank you. Much respect.
Dana, going back to the guys that haven't taken that opportunity to get on the headline of UFC 300, why was that? Were they asking for too much money? Did they feel they had...
No. This was not about money. It was all about timing. We got 3 killer cards in a row, and in this business, you have injuries and all kinds of other bullshit that goes on behind the scenes. And we've been talking about 300 forever, and we were just trying to make the best fights that we could possibly make. We had 2 more fights to make, and we were trying to put on two badass fights. So these two guys are it. I mean, I'm sure if you saw the video, I walked through who they both are, what they've both done. Both guys are hungry. They both want it. No way that fight sucks.
In the past, we've seen for UFC 200, for Conor Aldo, we've seen these like epic trailers, sort of movie trailers. Do you think we could see one of them come back for 300?
Say that again?
In the past, for big events like Conor versus Aldo, you had them walking down the streets of Las Vegas. Do you think we could get one of those trailers for 300?
Well, now I have to, now that you said it, I guess, right? I got to figure something out.
You're welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
And, this week you went viral for your new dislike of podcasts. Is there no point anyone asking you to join those again?
Yeah, please. You know where I'm at with the podcast. I feel like fucking Jordan Peterson every time I turn on Instagram. I'm on a fucking podcast. Yes. No more podcasts, please. Podcast it out.
By the way, did Rob and Costa get a bonus? You mentioned how good that fight was.
Did what?
Did Rob and Costa get some extra money for their fight?
They did not. They did not. Okay. We gave out 3 performance bonuses and a fight of the night. We'll kick them something, though. We'll take care of them for you. You're welcome.
Buenas noches, Dana. Por aquí.
Hey, how are you?
How are you? Quería saber, question in Spanish. Quería saber qué valoración hace de la actuación de Ilia Topuria y si cree que puede ser la siguiente superestrella de la UFC.
Just wanted to know, what did you think of Ilya's performance, and how do you think of him going forward as the champion in UFC?
Yeah, I think he looked great. Listen, obviously, Volk's one of the greatest of all time, and he's definitely the greatest in that weight class ever. And Topuria looked damn good in his last fight, and he looked damn good tonight. If he keeps his head together and, continues to do what he's doing, he's going to be a force in that division.
Es un grande, tuvo una tremenda actuación. Sabemos cómo Volk es un grande también del deporte. Ilya tuvo una actuación tremenda la última vez y ahora. O sea, si sigue así, va a ser tremendo también en el futuro de UFC.
Volkanovski ha pedido inmediatamente la revancha y ha dicho que no le importaría ir hasta España. ¿Cree Dana que este puede ser un movimiento interesante este mismo año?
Volkanovski immediately asked for the rematch, and he said he wouldn't mind going to Spain. Do you think that would be a cool thing to do?
Yeah, well, we're definitely going to Spain. Who he's going to be facing, I don't know yet, but I have a lot of respect for Volkanovski. We'll see how that plays out, but as long as there's a venue, we're going to Spain.
Definitivamente vamos a España, no sabemos exactamente cuál sería el adversario, pero vamos a ver si sea Volkanovski. Solo tenemos que ver la arena y dónde lo hacemos, pero definitivamente vamos a ir a España.
Hablando de la arena, se ha hablado mucho del Santiago Bernabéu. ¿Hay un interés real en intentar hacer un evento en el Santiago Bernabéu?
Talking about the venue, much has been said about the Santiago Bernabéu, the new stadium for Real Madrid in Madrid. Is there a real interest in actually doing
How many seats is that?
¿Cuántos? ¿80,000?
Sí, completo sí, la mitad unos 35.000.
Full for soccer, 80,000, about 35,000 if you actually cut it into an arena for an event like that.
Indoor or outdoor?
Indoor. No? Sería todo cubierto, ¿no? There will be.
Yeah, I like it.
35?
Sounds good, yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Y por último, ¿podría debutar la UFC directamente con un pay-per-view, con un evento numerado en España?
And lastly, could the UFC debut in Spain with a pay-per-view? Would it be could the UFC debut in Spain with a pay-per-view?
He's the champion. The guy from Spain is the world champion. Yeah, so it would be a pay-per-view.
Es un español, representa a España como campeón. Definitivamente sería pago por visión.
Okay, amazing. Thank you very much, Dana.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, Dana. Right here.
Yeah.
I just got one for you. I wonder if you could talk to me about the decision to put Wanderlei Silva in the Hall of Fame.
He deserves to be. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Back when, me and the Fertittas got into this sport, and we were huge Wanderlei Silva fans, and everybody that was a hardcore fan back then was a big fan of Pride, and a lot of big stars came out of there, and Wanderlei has done a lot for the sport in the early days, and he deserves to be in there. Yeah.
Right here. You got asked about Alexander Volkanovski's future and stuff, but it's 2 knockouts in about 4 months now. Do you think, I know he likes to be so active, but do you think he needs to take a little break now?
Yeah. I don't know what he's going to want to do, but that's up to doctors, not me. If a doctor says he's cleared to fight, it's up to the doctor. I don't determine, whether he's healthy enough to compete. Doctors do.
And you heaped a lot of praise on Leon Edwards there for his willingness to fight at 300.
Yeah.
What happens now? He's not going to be on the card, so is he wanting to fight soon? Are you trying to get him at 301 or 302?
Yeah, listen, the guy's willing to fight 3 different opponents, and obviously if it was for UFC 300, it's 3 nasty opponents. This guy doesn't care. He'll fight anybody, and, think about this. We call, and we're talking about UFC 300, you're going to headline, you're going to fight this guy. Then we call back and say, the fight that's going to happen. You're going to fight this guy, right? And then the 3rd time we call and change opponents on him again. It's just crazy. And this guy could care less. He's up for the challenge. He's ready to fight anybody. I love it. Respect it very much.
So you sorted through a few different opponents for him. Where do you go back to next time? Is it still Bilal at the top?
I have no idea what we're going to do yet. He's not fighting on 300 when we figure it out.
Yeah.
Then we'll.
And just last thing, I wanted to ask you about Mackenzie Dern. She, took another rough loss, but she's been very exciting in these past few. But
yeah.
It's more because she's been on the feet, kind of throwing. I guess what would the advice to someone like her be in terms of evolving and maybe trying to stay away from this type of damage she's taken the past few fights?
She's not on the transport thing. Did she? We were. That's fucking crazy. We were convinced that she had a broken orbital in that fight. When she went down with the eye thing, we were convinced it was a broken orbital, and she fought through it. But I'm shocked that it's not. You just reminded me of that, and I just looked. She's not on there. She's so fucking tough, man. She is so tough. And what's your question? Yeah, she's awesome. She's awesome.
There you go. And last thing, Mark Zuckerberg walked out with Volk. He was here cage side having a blast during Mackenzie's fight. Did he ask to do that, to walk out, or was that Volk's idea?
Volk did. Yeah, Volk asked him to walk with him, and people ask me about that type of stuff. It's like even a guy like Mark Zuckerberg, who, you have everything. There's a couple things in this business. First of all, number one, first and foremost, there's the fight, right? When you have the opportunity to come to one of these fights and sit in the crowd. Hunter was telling me tonight, the guy from Imagine Dragons was like, holy shit, this is one of the, most intense sporting events I've ever been to. And yeah. Then to stand where I stand for a face-off when you got these big fights, it's without a doubt one of the most unique and incredible things to do in your lifetime if you're a huge fan. And the other one would be to walk out with a world champion as he's going out to defend his title. So no matter how much money you have, no matter what you have in life, it's one of those very unique, amazing things if you get the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, and his passion for the sport is obviously very genuine. I know he's dealing with the knee recovery and stuff, but he said he wants to do an MMA fight. I know the Elon thing is in the past, but if he wanted to do that, is that something you would want to work with, or does he need to fight, somewhere lower level?
I don't know. I know he wants to fight, and he loves this sport. I mean, this guy loves this sport. He's super passionate about it. He brings fighters out all the time to train with him and stuff, and everybody in this room knows this, or most of the people in this room anyway. When you get into this sport, it's fucking fascinating the way this pulls you in. When you think about the people that Habib didn't even make it to the locker room and Putin was on the phone. Valentina Shevchenko meets with the president of her country every time she goes back there. The royal family in Abu Dhabi. The list goes on and on of the people that these powerful, extremely wealthy people that just fall in love with the sport. When you get close to this thing, it just sort of sucks you in, and it you just fall in love with it. So when I see people like that, like Zuckerberg, love this thing as much as they do, it's fun. It's awesome. You done with me?
Dana over here.
Yeah.
To your left.
Yep.
Or to your right, I'm sorry.
Okay. Hi.
Hi. Throughout the entire promotion, Ilia Topuria was saying that he is not going to give any of the top guys a shot at the title if he were to win that, and he's been kind of chasing.
That's awesome. Great to hear.
He's been chasing this Conor McGregor fight, which seems a little unrealistic. Well, what can you promise to the fans who want to know what's really next for Topuria?
You know how this works. You fight all the best in the world. He just won the title. He looks like a guy who could be one of the all-time greats. You got to clean out that division, and once you do, then you start figuring out what's next. How do I challenge myself? And if Conor McGregor. I don't know if we ever see Conor McGregor at 145 pounds again. If you had told me right here, right now, tell me if you think it'll never. I don't think it ever happens. But everybody wants to fight Conor.
He's kept saying at any weight, so obviously I'm sure Conor probably has other ideas of his return. But another Irishman on this card, Ian Gary, didn't really have a nice performance, pretty listless by most regards. What do you make of his performance tonight?
What do you mean by listless?
Just judging by the crowd's reaction and the way the fight unfolded.
So what do you mean? Talk to me. What did you hate about that fight?
Just
what? Oh, he's back there. Hey, Ian. This guy thinks your fight sucked tonight. He wants to know my opinion on your fight sucking tonight.
They're all out. I keep winning, they keep fucking getting disappointed.
So what are you asking me about the fight?
I wanted to get your reaction to the performance because I know you put a lot of weight into what the crowd thinks about the fight. So just wanted to get your.
Well, I listen. The crowd came in and paid and broke the all-time California record, the gate record, and things like that. But it was a great card, and to say that his fight wasn't a good fight. Well, it might not have been a great fight compared to the rest of the night with the card, but when you talk about bad cards, Toronto was a bad card. Toronto, I owe you another one. We'll try to do better next time. But I wouldn't say that listen, did Ian go on and put on an unbelievable performance tonight? Like, knock down, drag him out, war, and win a fight? No, it wasn't Whitaker Costa, but he won the fight.
And lastly, UFC 300, now that we have an official main event, what is the co-main event going to be?
The co-main event is the other championship fight on the card.
Thank you.
Yep.
Dana back here.
Yep.
One note, can you walk us through how things came together to switch between the Taffa brothers for the Marcos Rogerio fight?
What do you mean? One fell out, the other one came in.
Straight up? Did you text him, call him, paperwork that fast?
One out, one in. Didn't have to change any of the marketing, didn't have to change the posters, didn't have to do anything.
Finally, Miranda Maverick opened up the card with a victory. Obviously, up-and-comer. Just what were your thoughts on that performance to open up this big event?
Yeah, I mean, for a, to win against a tough veteran like she did, awesome. Unanimous decision, but yeah, good for her.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Dan, down here to your right. To your right, down. Hey. Topuria changed his Instagram bio earlier this week to say 15-0 UFC world champion. Before the fight ever happened, he goes out there and does that. I mean, what does that say about him and his confidence level?
He definitely believes in himself. That's definitely putting yourself out there. You could call that a lot of things. Manifesting, cocky, whatever you want to call it. He made it a reality. He came out and did it tonight in spectacular fashion against the guy who is the best ever in the division, which is saying something considering the fact that Max is in that division too.
You have Topuria this month, and then next month is O'Malley and Chito Vera, and O'Malley is 20-something champion, Topuria is 20-something champion. Is this like the next generation kind of coming up in those weight classes, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at both guys, I mean, Topuria is an absolute stud, man. I mean, the way that he looked tonight, and Volk started to turn it up, and they started trading, and that fight really started to heat up, and he finished the fight. This kid's special. There's no doubt about it. And then obviously, the Miami card. This card's awesome. The Miami card's awesome, and then 300 from the first fight of the night to the main event. It's a great card.
Do you see stardom from both those guys, Topuria and O'Malley, not just being great fighters, but also being ticket sellers, pay-per-view sellers?
100%. And anytime that you get a guy that can bring us to another market, it's always fun, you know? Yeah, if you look, we've been doing this for like 23 years now, never been to Spain. This will be our first time ever putting on a UFC event in Spain. How fun do you think that's going to be?
Last thing, what do you got in that cup there? Is that secret juice? You
yeah, no, it's an energy drink. It's a monster.
Thanks, Dana.
Thank you.
Hey, Dana. In 7 UFC fights, Alex Pereira has become a double champion, headlined Madison Square Garden twice, now headlining UFC 300. Like, can you put into perspective just how big this guy is?
Yeah, and how fast he did it in such a short amount of time. 2 different weight classes, a guy coming from basically one style and being able to accomplish what he's accomplished here. Obviously, it was super impressive when Izzy did it, and now this guy did it even faster and in 2 different weight classes.
You know, that fight's a little while away, but, you know, Jamal coming back from Achilles injury, which is devastating for athletes.
Yep.
How do you see that fight kind of going down?
I don't know. It's going to be. I'm friends with Kelsey Plum. Do you know who she is from the WNBA? She had the same injury. She came back and won MVP and won a national title. You know, and he's been going to the PI. She recovered from that injury at the PI. So hopefully he's good.
Last 2 for me. Was Conor McGregor ever an option for UFC 300?
No.
And then lastly, I was just wondering if you would give a hint on who Leon Edwards was offered, those 3 opponents.
I'll call you later.
One question?
Yeah.
Get over here.
Yeah.
So at the Power Slap press conference, you mentioned that the UFC 300 main event was in the works and another fight. So now we know Pereira and Jamal are going to headline 300. So do we have an update on that other fight that you said was remaining to be confirmed?
We got one more to make. Yeah. No.
Okay. And similar to that video they were asking about earlier, at UFC 200, we saw a special colored canvas for that event. Do you think we'll see the same for UFC 300?
Probably, yeah.
For sure.
I haven't even thought about that yet.
Hopefully. But you also signed Kayla Harrison not too long ago. I know it's a signing that a lot of fans wanted to see a while ago, but now it's finally coming to fruition. So what is your take on that signing?
Yeah, I think that when you've accomplished as much as you've accomplished outside the UFC as she has, it's a big deal for these guys to come in here. Not just her, MVP, and you know, you've seen others do it, and you know, when you get here, it's a whole nother level. So I think it's going to be great for them to finally get in here and compete against the best in the world.
And like you said, MVP as well, Kayla Harrison. So given the situation that the other promotions have had as of late and everything, have you guys had conversations with other guys or girls from the other promotions?
What do you mean, as far as
like maybe
them sucking and not selling any tickets or stuff? What are you asking me?
No. Fighters that may be looking for home or something. I know some guys don't have their divisions in the other promotions.
They don't have other divisions?
There's some like fighters that don't have their respective divisions in those other promotions with the merger.
Yeah, listen. If you're part of a shitty promotion that nobody watches and nobody buys any tickets for, and you want to get out of there and go to a place where we sell tickets and people watch, we'll probably see you someday.
Last couple.
I don't know what you're asking me, but I hope that answered your question.
All right, and last one's for me. Daniel Cormier said in the lead up to this fight that this whole build-up from Topuria with this cockiness or arrogance or confidence, whatever you may want to call it, kind of reminiscent to McGregor when he was coming up. So do you agree with that statement? Did you
Who said that?
Daniel Cormier.
I don't know. What are you asking me?
Like if you agree with that, just...
Can I have a question?
So Daniel Cormier said he's cocky and arrogant like Conor. And you're asking me if I agree with that?
No, I'm just saying, like, he said that it reminds him a lot of that McGregor build-up when he was making his way onto the big stage and everything.
I don't know. What do you think?
I think so. I mean,
you agree?
I agree.
Quote him on that one, not me.
Dana. Thank you, Dana.
Yeah, thank you. Do you have it?
Dana, over here.
Yeah.
Henry Cejudo said that he would retire if he didn't win tonight. The gloves were off. He didn't get to go on the mic after the fight. What's his status? And
that I have no idea. Listen, Merab was in a position where he wouldn't fight his friend. You know how we love that here when you won't do that. So, you know, I haven't been thrilled with Merab. I don't like that attitude. You fight everybody, you do whatever. Merab went in there tonight, and he beat the former champion, Henry Cejudo. Henry Cejudo already retired, okay? He did the whole drop the gloves thing. Tonight was Merab's night. Merab went in there, he fought the number 3 guy in the world, former world champion. He won easily, won the fight. Tonight was Merab's night. If he wants to retire again, he could do that here or somewhere else. You don't give the mic to Cejudo tonight. Tonight was Merab's night. Yep.
Right here. While we're on the topic of other promotions, BKFC's head David Feldman spoke very highly of you, called you an ally, and we heard from Mike Perry that there was some sort of offer to buy the promotion. Can you give any life to that claim or any possible talent exchange that might be in the works?
I like that guy too. He's a nice guy. First time we met, absolutely no truth in that whatsoever.
Any truth to the rumors about possible talent exchange?
No.
Thank you.
Okay.
Dana, you mentioned that now you guys have the option to go to Spain several times, but you also have the option to go to South Africa, apparently, because you have a champion there. So can you kind of give us a little insight on how you prioritize these new markets? Because at this point, you have multiple places to go with multiple new champions, and does Spain suddenly leapfrog South Africa and the whole African continent, trying to put that together?
We're going there, too.
Just a matter of time. I mean, people have been anticipating.
No, yes. We'll go. We're going. You're brilliant. You're fucking brilliant. Yeah. Great question. That's the answer.
Right over here, Dana.
Yes, sir.
With regard to Conor McGregor, what is the holdup with his return?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, the Ultimate Fighter was over back in August, and I can't imagine the plan was for him to be out as long as he's been.
Well, the first problem was that he broke that shin bone. He was recovering from that. That was one of the reasons we had it on. The other problem is he's fucking rich.
And how does that present an issue to you with negotiations?
What do you mean?
Well, I'll ask, does Conor McGregor...
Conor McGregor doesn't need money.
So are we at a point here where Conor McGregor may never fight for the UFC? Can you say that?
If you had shitloads of money, would you be sitting here right now asking me this fucking question?
No.
No, you would not. That just answered your question.
Well, I answered no. So you're saying there's a chance that Conor McGregor will not fight again for the UFC?
I don't know. Conor McGregor's got a lot of money, and anytime we get Conor, we'll be happy to. Be thrilled when he comes and fights, but money complicates a lot of things. He just filmed a movie. He's got to do the press for the movie, and he's got obligations with that. And he does want to fight this year, but we'll see what happens.
Is part of the issue that Conor...
That's the only issue.
Is there an issue,
There's no other issue. That's it.
Wanting to re-sign him to a longer...
No.
Contract?
Conor McGregor has probably been one of the best business partners we've ever had. Doing business with Conor getting Conor to show up to shit on time is a problem. But Conor, as far as the business goes, for a guy, everybody talks about how Conor used to be on the dole and all this stuff. For a guy that was on the dole, Conor McGregor is a very good businessman. And Conor McGregor has always been a great partner to us. There's never any hanging out and haggling for money or, you pay me more money. Conor McGregor has never done anything even remotely close to that. It's the exact opposite. When it's time to dig in and get to work and make money, he's probably the most incredible partner we've ever had, to be honest with you.
All right, and I have one last question. With regard to Wanderlei Silva, it was 10 years ago where you said he wasn't going to go into the UFC Hall of Fame, and you said the guy's been Pete Rosed. So I'm just curious, what has changed? What went into changing your mind there? You're not really somebody to change your mind on a stance like that.
Yeah, I've been in so many beefs with so many people that I didn't even remember that till you just told me.
You said there's going to be no Hall of Fame. The guy's been Pete Rosed. This was after he left, and
it's a good thing
was
I
very
forgot.
critical.
It's a good thing I forgot.
It's a good thing you forgot.
Exactly.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Huh? Good? Good night. Go ahead, sir. What's up?
I talked with Mirab today, and he said that he could fight next month. Is this possible to Mirab back of the UFC 299 main event?
Yeah.
He talked to Merab, and he said that Merab didn't no injuries or anything. He could be fit. He's fresh to fight next month. Is it a possibility he's a backup?
Got it. Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I don't know if we already have one, but I don't know. Definitely.
How about Umar Nurmagomedov?
What about Umar Nurmagomedov?
What about him?
What about Umar? Yeah.
To be a backup?
Yeah.
To back up.
Yeah.
I think Umar's got to fight. But yeah, he could be a backup too.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.